seems that Superpower series is going pretty well, so let's make this a countdown that will most likely blow you away. Because it's a countdown all about the air. That's right, we're talking about Aerokinetics. To me, Aerokinetics have always been an interesting concept, especially when you consider you are facing an opponent that can control the bloody wind. Whoever made that idea was a genius. Like last time, one for franchise, no gods, and one from a game that I have yet to play. Also, if your favourite Aerokinetic didn't get on this list, let me know, maybe I'll check it out. So let's look at the best of those characters which rule the skies. Enjoy! Mega Man 9 was always my second favourite classic Mega Man game, and the reason for that is probably because of its great selection of robot masters. I mean, you have Magma Man, who is a volcano on legs, and is able to spit lava balls. There's Galaxy Man, who can summon black holes and teleport across the room, giving you the red eye stare of death. Or my personal favourite, Tornado Man. Now I know I'm going to some serious pan for not putting Harpuia on this list, and while they do look kinda similar, does Harpuia really count as an Aerokinetic? I don't think so. The battle with Tornado Man is just as unique as every other Robot Master's fight in Mega Man 9, but not just in fighting style, but in setting as well. But rather than it being on different design on the ground, it's different on the ceiling due to having instant kill spikes at the top. His fight is a battle that involves spinning the bottom half of his body around so fast that it can create a whirlwind that sends him upwards into the air to perform a sky drop on you, then use his famous Tornado Blow attack to lift up tornadoes so fast that they will damage on contact, and this attack will cause you to move around more freely. In most situations this would be great, but it is your worst enemy in the fight with Tornado Man. Like I said, there are instant death spikes at the top, and Tornado Man can move very fast while in the sky, giving you a serious disadvantage. Once you beat Tornado Man, you obtain his weapon, the Tornado Blow, which is essentially an instant kill weapon that can lift certain platforms for a short time, but it has very little ammo. I suppose Tornado Man would have gotten higher if he had a personality or just a larger role. Maybe if they make another Battle Network game he can return with a flashy appearance. Just hope they don't make him look too much like Harpuia. Every Link from the main series such as the Zelda games has his own sort of fancy talent whether he wants it or not. The Link from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask can travel back and forth through time to react certain events. The Link from Skyward Sword is a very skilled bird rider, and I'd personally say Link from Twilight Princess is the best swordsman of the group. And the Link from Wind Waker can control the wind. I personally say that Toon Link is my favourite incarnation of Link to date. He's funny, he's a skilled fighter, and of course he has my favourite form of instrument yet, the Wind Waker. When Link receives his magical conductor's baton from the King of Red Lions, he can learn a couple songs from it. The two that specifically come to mind are the Wind's Requiem and the Ballad of Gales. The Wind's Requiem is a song which, when played, can change the direction of the wind to face whichever way the player wants it to go, just as long as it's one of 8 specific directions, so it can help him sail through the Great Sea. So it's kind of essential. While the Ballad of Gales whips up a whirlwind to warp Link to another part of the Great Sea, and it's accompanied with some very cheerful music, and it's so handy when you have to find the 8 Triforce pieces. That's not only a great item in any Zelda game, but it's just really fancy. The Beast of the Sea is making its way to the number 8 spot on this list, because it's Lugia, that's why. Now I know I could have put other legendary Pokemon on this list, like Tornadus or Latios, but it's freaking Lugia, do I need any more explanation? Didn't think so, moving on. Freaking jokes! I'll give you an explanation. For a good few years, Lugia was widely considered to be the most powerful Pokemon ever created, even more so than Mewtwo. He can learn a fair variety of flashy flying type attacks ranging from basic attacks like Gust to more powerful attacks like Sky Drop and Aerial Ace and Sky Attack. Then you have his signature attack, Aeroglass, an attack which has been quoted to be a powerful vortex which can deal critical hits really easily and can break through magical codes. Proof of this being Lugia's signature move is that it also appears if you're able to summon a Lugia in just about any Smash Bros. Game. It can summon a really hard to avoid Aeroblast. He may not be based off some infamous mythological creature like Ho-Oh, although he is believed to be based off some mythological creatures like the Ryujin, or even being based off prehistoric creatures or fish, but he is certainly a very impressive Pokemon. I'll fully admit that I don't play much Final Fight, but believe me, Cody was always one of my favourite Final Fight fighters whenever I did play it. Being a citizen of Metro City, Cody is a fighter who's very bored very easily, but since he was a vigilante, he got thrown into prison. After getting bored of jail life, he was able to escape prison and is now trying to find the Mad Gear Gang. Or, unless he's fighting the Street Fighter universe, he's trying to find SIN. So yeah, if you haven't put two and two together, Cody is not only a fighter in the Final Fight universe, but is also a fighter in the Street Fighter universe as well. But that's mainly due to his popularity. And it has an ultra combo attack called the Final Destruction, which gives him the power to uppercut his opponents after a ton of brutal punches, which then gets him stuck in a whirlwind while giving them one of the single harshest quotes in the game.
Boring the crap out of it.
He also specialises in wind attacks and uses it through punches, especially with a signature move of his called the Criminal Upper, which is a physical attack that fires a tornado when he lands a hit. What is with this list of tornadoes? Anyway, as well as a special move with an uppercut tornado, Cody is a character who I'd like to see more in both Final Fight and Street Fighter. Good job, Cody. Good job. Another Anarchy Reigns character. Well, actually, there's only one wind manipulator in all of Anarchy Reigns, and any player of Anarchy Reigns knows who I'm talking about. Garuda, the undead cyborg. Garuda is a person who was killed some time ago and was resurrected to serve under Durga. And with all those robotic parts, you can guess this guy's kind of, well, a transformer. Like I said, Garuda is the only wind controller in Anarchy Reigns, which is kind of a letdown when you consider how many fire, ice and electricities there are in the game. But we've already been there, so let's just forget about that. Garuda focuses more on brute strength, but is always ready to use a killer weapon known as the Tornado Drills. This basically lets him perform massive tornado attacks, like how Von Twirlington used to do it in Mad World. In fact, the majority of his killer weapon attacks are based on Twirlingkiller's attacks. With his killer weapons being so long, he can use them to be what they're designed to do, but he could just use them for long range combat as well. He's able to grab his opponents and twist them around in a tornado sort of method, or even spin himself around in the tornado style method. Unfortunately, I can't put Garuda any higher because he didn't really do much in Anarchy Reigns' story. All he did is fight alongside Durga against Leo on the white side of the story, and was killed alongside him after that one fight. Shame. It would have been great to see him a bit more. Now we'll talk about a character from a game I've played very recently. Dust from Dust and Elysian Tale is a pretty cool character who specialises in controlling wind through a mysterious sword Arra, who kind of has a personality of his own. Now don't worry, it's not a sword with an anger problem like Caliber from Saga the Black Knight. He's a very calm and collected sword. And he does start off like a usual sword, but once you level him up a bit, Dust is able to learn a couple cool moves with it. For example, is Dust Storm, which lets him use the sword to create a whirlwind to cause minor damage to nearby enemies. However, if you use your companion Fidget's abilities, you can create a Bullet Storm to cause huge damage on the foes in the area. When Fidget levels up a little bit, Dust can use it to perform up to 3 freaking firestorms on screen at the same time, and eventually an electric barrage. Dust will also be able to use Aura in mid-air to create a tornado spin to help him move at about 20 miles per hour, and even if there are some enemies on screen, it will help him move upward to unreachable locations. Well, that is until you have to double jump near the end of the game, but that's besides the point. Speaking of which, by the end of the game, you'll probably feel a deep bond with Dust after he makes the decisions that he does just before the final fight, and how well his character has changed compared to what he was like before his case of amnesia. He's now a great swordsman and a great Knight of the Wind. Now all we need is Dust too, and our lives will be complete for the time being. I know what a couple people are thinking at this point. Doesn't Cody already represent the Street Fighter series in this video? Technically no. While he has appeared in Street Fighter titles, his first and main appearance is in the Fight or Fight series, so technically he doesn't count. Seth on the other hand is here to stay. Seth is the head of SIN, which is the main weapons supplier of Shadow, the enemy organization throughout the Street Fighter series, and is also a genetically engineered double replacement body for Bison. Seth does have his own fighting style, which is apparently beyond human knowledge, but his main threat comes in two forms: his copying ability and from his weapon of choice, the Tandem Engine. He doesn't use much wind-based attacks revolving around his copied move pool aside from the Sonic Boom stolen from Guile, but his main source of power comes from the Tandem Engine. This thing not only lets him suck the opponents into the Tandem Engine and then fire them out of it a second later, which is called his Tandem Stream, but also uses it to perform the Tandem Typhoon attack, which will deliver a crap ton of damage if the opponent's not paying attention. He can also produce a gravity-like ball of energy which will draw his opponent in, then hits him repeatedly before blasting them away. Or if he just wants to use it basically, then he can use it to draw the opponent in and attack them. There's a reason why lots of people consider Seth to be one of the cheapest bosses in the Street Fighter franchise. I personally find him to be as easy as the rest of the opponents in Street Fighter 4, but that's just me. Street Fighter 4 is one of the few fighting games I'm actually good at. What better character to put at number 3 than Organization 13's member number 3, better known as Zelda. Zelda is a nobody who is the persona, you could say, to Dylan, one of 6 apprentices to Ansem the Wise, and was a guardian of the Radiant Garden and Hollow Bastion. I won't go through the whole story, but through experiments involving darkness and other apprentices of Ansem, Dylan dove deep into the darkness through his experiments. Zaranor eventually removed Dylan's heart to become the first of 13 vessels needed for his plans to create the X-Blade, and in the process, created Zelda. Now I've already mentioned that every member of Organization 13 wields not only a weapon, but an element as well. Axel uses fire, Derek uses water, and of course Zelda uses wind, and can control his 6 spears by making them levitate due to his aerokinetic powers. Throughout the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2, Zelda will spend most of his time at Beast's castle, and he is really pissed Beast off, just so we can try and turn him into a nobody. Then he returns to have a good fight with Sora about halfway through the game. This is when he gets to use his weapon called the Lin Woman, which is apparently a reference to Final Fantasy. I'm not a Final Fantasy fan. Sue me! Zelda will use these in his fight, which is one of the hardest fights in Kingdom Hearts 2. He can spin these spears around so fast they produce a gust-based barrier to protect him from Sora's assaults. In fact, most of his attacks involve spinning his spears around, whether it's just to make them attack you by launching them from a distance, or to make them follow you wherever you go. These things can also produce miniature whirlwinds to fire as a projectile attack, but easily his most interesting move is being able to ride his spears to command them to create a tornado and inflict pain on you. Yeah, you could say it's more the spears that produce the aerokinetic powers, but Zelda's the only one who can produce them. I'm guessing the one problem I have with Zelda is that in 358 over 2 days, the game that Zelda is playable in, most of his attacks are pretty basic and don't really use his spears and wind too much. Either way, Zelda is definitely in my top 5 Organization 13 members for his powers and weapons. I'm just going to try and figure out what his accent is now.
When Kingdom Hearts is ours, we can exist fully and completely.
Actually, there is a way. A child and her pet were following us.
I'll admit, I've only played League of Legends pretty recently, but it's a decent game, and hey, it helped me make plenty entries to put on lists like this. Case in point, Janna the Storm's Fury. According to the League of Legends wiki, Janna learnt her first bit of magic while growing up as an orphan in the realm of Zorn, seeking to right the injustice in the world, so she decided to bring her talents to the League, for those specific reasons. But enough about bios, let's get into Janna's specialties. Janna is useful enough in battle, being a mage and all, but her main strength comes in her power to manipulate wind. The main abilities contain skills like Tailwind, which basically helps her move an ally a little bit faster, Howling Gale, which summons a whirlwind at her current location, and the storm will fly in the direction it was cast, kind of like Siva's boomerang, dealing magic damage to enemies and knocking them back. Zenther, which will aid her movement speed to prevent knockback and even damage foes. Janna will also learn an ability called Eye of the Storm. Eye of the Storm surrounds the target ally champion with a wind shield that absorbs incoming damage for a good 5 seconds. While the shield persists, the target will also gain attack damage bonus. This can also be used on ally turrets as well, making Janna both useful in offensive and defensive strategies. You know, kind of like a support class. Finally, there's her ultimate, Monsoon. With Monsoon, Janna emits a powerful blast of wind that knocks back enemies by a large range, and then releasing curring winds that heal allies for every half a second for 3 seconds. She can reactivate the ability at any time to end the channel prematurely. I'm new to League of Legends, so there are better champions probably. I mean, there's over 100, crying out loud. But Janna does good for me.
And you thought it was just a harmless breeze.
I think for number 1, we're gonna have to talk about a little game on the 3DS called Project Crossbone. I like this game, probably because of its huge cast of characters, and it did introduce a couple new characters. Kogoro, the ninjutsu detective, me, the rifle-wielding cheerleader, Ainz and Drive, the moronic brothers, and hell, even the main villain's maiden, and the topic for this subject, Jew Flabalum, or Flabela, or however you want to call that. While her name may sound a little bit odd, if you call Jew odd to her face, you will not see the light of day. Because she is a member of the Oris Flux, who intend to create a new world by collecting all stone. In battle, she plays just like most rival units do in the game, but her attacks cause her to be one of the more hellish opponents to face throughout the game, due to her main weapon, a fan. This fan may look like a regular fan to the human eye, but in case you haven't figured it out, Jew Flabalum is not a human. Her attack power has two very, I repeat, very high damaging attacks. The first is her Feather Fan, which she will use against a single team, so it's obviously her strongest attack. This basically happens when Jew waves her fans left and right to control the raging winds bringing the character with her, but that's only half of her potential. Jew will then perform a little dance turning the raging winds into a miniature tornado, sucking the opponent up into the tornado, taking off about 3,000 damage in the process. The attack itself manages to take off almost 6,000 damage, so look out for that. Then there's her other attack, known as Blazing Crown, which she will use on a group of people. She starts off whipping the opponent with her hair, causing some sort of fire, and then proceeds to use her fans along with the fire to make a purple firestorm which has the capabilities of over 23,000 damage to all 4 players. She also has a couple of attacks which you don't see on screen, which can inflict about 3,000 damage to the enemy. You never know what she does off screen, but I assume it involves her when producing fans. Hell, you could make the argument that she's the main villain of Project Crossbone, since Maiden doesn't appear until almost the very end of the game. I'm a Secret Swordsman, and Project Crossbone is definitely in my top 5 favourite 3DS games, and I can't wait for the sequel. Good night.